Okay, when I work with the companies on data strategy, it amazes me how often I hear this. Oh, so you want to talk to us about how to sell our data? Amazing, isn't it? With all the discussions about data in marketplace today, it's an overwhelming focus on selling the data. It's an understandable sentiment. But data strategy is not about selling the data. It could not be further from the truth. Well, I define the data strategy as deciding what to do with your data you collect, how to process the data, how to harness insight from it, and how to ultimately deliver the genuine value to your client and partners. A natural byproduct may be that you monetize these insights or create deliverables that generates revenue. In other words, your data strategy will create value. The focus of all strategies should be the value creation, and data strategy is simply another manifestation of this principle, where we focus on harnessing data to create the value. Another critical point to keep in mind is that each company's strategy is unique. There is no cookie cutter approach you can simply adopt. No template you can download and say, well, there you go. This is what our data strategy of a company is. The most people in data strategy would start with technology foundation. Yes, there are well established patterns for technology foundation that can be reused. So sure, there is a cookie cutter approach to data foundation, but what you do with the data of your company is unique as your company itself. There is no magical single approach that works for every company. Think holistically about your data, your corporate strategy, and how to meld them together. My view is that increasingly using data as a business asset will become an essential and existential for all the companies. There will not be a company that survives in the next decade if they don't know how to harness their data. As much as companies have now embraced technology as a foundation and no longer debate in this importance, data will become a similar bedrock for every organization. To put it other way, companies that don't embrace data will likely not be successful in a long term and maybe even not exist. As much as we talk about the data, what truly matters are the insights you drive from it and the value that customer experience from the insights. Take any of your favorite companies, be it Airbnb, Uber, Facebook, Netflix. Pick any of them. Sure, they all fundamentally provide excellent services, whether it's a streaming content or booking a room. The core transaction element is great. But what makes them superior, what makes them sticky, is what they have discerned about you, what insight they have gained about your preferences, how they have tailored the offering for matching your specific need. Yes, there are good and bad aspects to this. There are plenty of discussions about how they are changing the behavior, and I'm not here to argue about that. What I'm finding is that it is not that data itself that makes company valuable. It's what the company does with it, how they create value from it. That's what makes them incredibly valuable. So the focus of data strategy should be about the value you create and how you approach that process. Okay, put up any app on your mobile phone, whether from a national chain, international brand, or even restaurant at the corner of your street, whatever it may be. You will notice they probably retain your last order, your billing information, your delivery address, and can start to see how increasingly motivating this would be for you. The next time you want to order something, you know they already have your information ready. I have a long last name. Trust me, every time I have to spell it out, it becomes a frustrating experience for me. If they simply store my last name correctly, I'm already whole. Imagine how this drives loyalty, and more companies are taking it to the next level. Tailoring product and services based on data, they persist about you. They're creating specials based on what you ordered last. By the way, if you order this dessert, you'll get 10% off. Sound familiar? They are finding creative ways to use what they have learned about you to give you something special. And what companies have focused is that this increase customer lifetime value. Now imagine the opposite scenario. The company don't store anything about you. Every time you interact, you give them all the information again and again. Sure, the first time, that's fine. The second time, okay. But by the third and fourth and fifth time, you start getting frustrated. Each of us has come to an expectation that we shouldn't have to repeat the same information. In fact, you don't even have to repeat your last order. You want the company to know your favorites and have them ready for you. We expect companies to learn from these patterns and save us from the repeated task. Consumer behavior have already shifted. People expect company to persist their data and discern insights from it. And consumers are getting impatient when companies don't do that. They feel like their companies just did not get it. This is exactly what defines the next decade, where the last decade was all about companies adopting the technologies as a foundation part of everything they do. The next decade will be about harnessing the data. It will be about companies becoming smarter through insights they have derived. We expect this will dominate the upcoming decade. And for companies in Saudi Arabia that wouldn't adopt it, didn't understand it, or didn't do anything about it, they will not be able to survive. Whether they will strive or not is out of the question. They will simply not be able to survive.